What's up? What's up? I really hope you're good. So am I, by the way. So let's just jump right in, as we always do. About 3 months or 4 months ago, I was listening in on this preaching by Pastor Garth Ball, the lead pastor of C3 Church, Nairobi. And he gave this story of how he was in some elevator for about 7 seconds. And in those 7 seconds, he couldn't resist the urge to check on his phone. And the question was, when does it all end? Like, it's like we are always on social media checking up on updates, trends. Like for the guys, it's usually Fabrizio updates. For me, it's usually memes. Like all my friends know I'm a sucker for good memes. And that's beautiful and okay, by the way. The entertainment value is nice. But you see, there will always be memes, there will always be funny videos, there will always be Edgar Barry's stories, there will always be something for him to expose. All I'm trying to say is all that is limitless, but your time, that is limited. And now it's probably time we start asking ourselves, like, when do we take a break from all this? And it's not just about social media, even with your household. When does it all stop? And yes, I know the grind don't stop and such things, but when do you take a break? Because culture and capitalism has taught us that rest is taboo. That's why we say things like you snooze, you lose, and all that. And yes, the Bible is against laziness. Make no mistake about it, it's against laziness. But it equally advocates for, if not more, for rest. Like Exodus 23:12 categorically says, for 6 days you shall work, on the seventh day you must stop working. And isn't it so nice that we don't serve do as I say, not as I do God, but he actually shows us how to do and what to do even before he tells us. Like in this particular issue, he showed us what to do even before he told us. Like in the story of creation, God did all that he was supposed to, then rested. It's not like he was done working. It's not like everything that he was supposed to do was done. It's not like he hasn't done anything since then, because he's still working. I believe the song says, even when I don't say it, he's working. But at that particular moment, he did all that he was supposed to, then he rested. And the systematic way in which he created the universe shows us quite clearly that he not only planned on how he'll do it, but actually followed through with that plan. And I believe this is something that we should borrow a leaf from. Like, we should not only plan for those 6 days, but actually follow through, so that the things that we are supposed to do not spill over to the seventh day. This means that you'll have to organize yourself a little more and procrastinate a little less. And the second thing we need to do is actually purpose to rest. Like, it's not just about setting a day apart, but actually purposing to rest. You see, most of us, or many of us, tend to see the Sabbath or rest as something passive. Like, the Sabbath is a day we get to do exactly what we want, exactly how we want. And honestly, you couldn't be more wrong. Because the Bible says, like the fourth commandment, it says, observe the Sabbath and keep it holy. Meaning that you should not only recognize the Sabbath, but actually set it apart for God. Because that's what being holy means, being set apart for God. Meaning that this is a day that you seek God a little more, you pray a little more, you worship a little more than you do in the other 6 days. It doesn't mean that you're not supposed to be praying the other 6 days, by the way. It just means that this day, you seek God a little more than you regularly do. Because he's given you 6 days that are all about you. And now you can't give him one and make it all about him. And the Bible categorically says that the Sabbath refreshes us. Like when you turn off all the distractions like social media, your jobs, your hustles, and actually be in communion with him, like it refreshes us. He gives us fresh visions or fresher visions. Like he talks to us in a way that he hasn't talked to us before. Like we hear him so closely and so clearly. He reminds us what is important. Some of us, the solution to some of the problems you have is in spending time with God. And you listen in to him and you'll understand what to do and how to do it. And by the way, a friendly reminder, you don't have to tell us that you're going off social media, by the way.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you
We don't care.
Just kidding. Lastly, and more importantly, we spend time with God as a sign of who he is in our lives and the position he occupies. Like, we don't just spend time with him because we expect or want anything. But if people remain the same, and you need to hear this so clearly, if people remained the same after remaining in God, after dwelling in God, after having an interaction with him, then we wouldn't be calling him God. We wouldn't be calling him all-powerful. All I'm trying to say is, yes, hard work is important, but obedience is importanter. And we shouldn't just be obedient to the things that He's told us to do, but also to the things He's told us not to do. So when He says, for this day, every single day of the week, you need to stop everything you're doing and just zero in on me. Here I am, God. Here I am to do exactly what you want me to do. Because where was the hard work when David was being anointed? Yes, he was hardworking, but the Bible literally says he was a man after God's own heart. That's what set him apart, not because he was hardworking. Joseph didn't rise to the epitomes of leadership in Egypt just because he was hard work, but because he remained faithful to God. Hata saa yenye alipewa mali bure. You get? Where was the hard work when Abraham and Sarah were getting a child? Okay, maybe there was some hard work there. I don't want to talk about that. But the gist of all I'm saying is sometimes you need to do less, and not just less like be lazy, but you need to do your part and allow God to show people through your life that He is God. That's what He did through Gideon. That's why He told Gideon reduce the number of men from 10,000 to 300 so that he could do only what he could do. And when all was said and done, yes, victory was Israel's, but the glory was all His. But this wouldn't have happened if Gideon wasn't willing to do less and allow God to do more. So that's my challenge to you today. Set apart a day that you get away from all your distractions and just allow God to reign in you. And you'll see how that changes your life.